Welcome to Conversational Currency, powered by the Speakers Retreat. I'm your host, Shadeed Eleazer. Conversational Currency is the fastest growing platform that examines the value and importance of social skills in the digital era. The Speakers Retreat is your 3-day live event where you learn the inner workings of a six-figure speaking business. You receive a professional headshot. You receive 5 minutes on stage in front of hundreds of thought leaders, coaches, experts, and authors. And you also get to meet booking agents, which can help you shorten the path to public speaking success. The Speakers Retreat is hosted by Pure Potentials and Jackie McClenigan. Now we have a special guest for this broadcast. Please introduce yourself and please tell us about your passion.
Well, hello, I am Olivia DeMoss with livingthelifeilove.net, and my passion is about living the life I love and inspiring you to living the life you love. And I'm all about joy, the joie de vivre, which means the joy of living.
Tell us more about the joy of living and where that joy in particular comes from.
Well, joy is an inside job, which is different from happiness. Happiness comes from the outside. You know, you might have the beautiful mansion and the good-looking husband or pretty wife and the cars and all the toys that you desire. And that brings you happiness, right? But this can all be taken away from you. And in that case, what happens to your happiness? You know, it might be up there and all of a sudden, whoop, goes down the drain. Whereas joy is an inside job. It is something that you only can cultivate, and then you have it wherever you go, in whatever circumstances are coming your way. That's why I'm saying it's an inside job. And you know, you've seen people with big smiles. They have perhaps nothing by our American standards. And I lived in Africa before I moved to the US, and definitely I saw a lot of people living in little huts with dirt on the floor and corrugated ceilings and really not much. And they had those huge big smiles with the white teeth, right? I just went to Mexico, and the same thing. The people told me, you know, we don't have much, but we enjoy every moment. The planet is beautiful and we are grateful. That's what joie de vivre is about. So the joie de vivre, actually, it not only puts a smile on your face, it also adds a sparkle in your eyes and a spring in your step. When you have the joie de vivre, people appreciate your good mood. It is attractive. And, you know, there's really actually nothing sexier than a smile, right? The joy of living is a joy. The joie de vivre is a joy of everything for no particular reason. It's a philosophy of life. It is linked to a sense of play and of access to your true self. And when you have the joie de vivre, it floods your body with feel good hormones that boost your immune system. How good is that, right? That's amazing. People who have the joie de vivre are generally positive. They have generally positive attitudes. They have a sense of self, a good sense of self, as well as a stability and a certain calmness in stressful situations. They don't take things personally too much. They don't depend on external factors because joy is an inside job, as I said, and they don't really rely on other people's view of them or opinion of them, right? They demonstrate, most of them demonstrate a certain humility, and for sure they have a lot of gratitude and appreciation for life and for all the little moments. They really appreciate things that cost nothing, like looking at a flower or listening to a bird, you know, little things like that, because it helps cultivate the joy. They're usually authentic people, and they act that's important. They act in the same manner, whether they're at home or at work, and in whichever situation with whomever, they are authentic, they're genuine. They enjoy socializing, but they also really enjoy being by themselves. and doing things that boost their joie de vivre, whether it is being in nature or singing or painting or cooking, whatever helps them be more in touch with their five senses. Another thing that's important for people who have the joie de vivre, they don't deny their emotions. And having the joie de vivre doesn't mean that you're happy or joyful all the time. You cannot be. We are human beings, and we are living in a world of duality. So when you have the joy, you also have the grief or the sorrow. It's like the two sides of a coin. You can't have one without the other. But people who know how to cultivate their joie de vivre, when they have those moments, those low moments, they know how to get out of that emotion pretty fast and tap back into their joy. And they can, once you know how to cultivate your joy, you can just tap in it at will, really. People who have the joie de vivre, they're also usually proactive in difficult situations because their joy is important. So they're not gonna just linger in whichever what we could call negative situations or emotions. They want to get back to their joy, so they're pretty proactive usually. And above all, they don't take themselves too seriously. They laugh a lot. I can say they're happy people, though I do teach the difference between happiness and joy. But we call people who have the joy, we call them happy. That's, I guess, easier to say. And one more thing about the joy. I said it's an inside job, and it is contagious. When you see people with the joy of living, usually, all it takes is you can be walking in the street and smiling, and pretty soon you have other people smiling, and they don't know why, but your joy is contagious, and it can be cultivated for sure.
Yes.
And probably a whole lot more there are probably a whole lot more benefits to having the joy of living, but that's pretty good already.
Definitely. Now, for people who are watching this broadcast, some may struggle with certain aspects within life, and in the moment, they may have difficulty to find the joy that is within when they are in the storm of chaos and disappointment and despair. What is your personal tip that you use in order to go from a moment of disappointment or a setback and get yourself back on track to tap into that joy?
I would say, for one thing, do not deny whatever you're going through. It is what it is. So stop and accept that you're at that point, even if it's a difficult point right now. Just stop, be aware of it, and then decide. Everything is choice, and you know that even when you don't choose, you're actually choosing. So everything in life is choice. So you can choose to linger in that difficult state, or you can choose to tap into your joy. The joy, babies come with the joy. And as we grow up, we lose the joy because we're told, no, don't do this, don't be that, don't say that, and all that sort of thing. So we lose our joy. Some people just naturally know how to cultivate it, but some people have lost it so far, they are not sure how to get back to their joy. So what I would say, for example, is look around you. Just stop, breathe for one thing. Don't forget to breathe. This is important. Breathe deeply. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And look around you, and there's gotta be something beautiful around you, whether it's just a blade of grass or whatever, and just appreciate the beauty. I'm pretty sure that's going to bring a smile on your face, or perhaps a smile on the inside, and be grateful for what you have. And I've heard people say, oh gosh, I have such a hard, life. I have nothing to be grateful for. We all have something to be grateful for. Do you eat every day? Yes. Well, okay. Can you be grateful for that? Do you have eyes? Can you read? Can you see? Yes. Okay. Can you be grateful for that? Can you walk? Can you breathe? Can you communicate with people? Heck, I can go on and on. There is so much to be grateful for. Like I said earlier, even people who don't even have a roof over their head are grateful. So life is precious, and life is fragile. And life is sacred, actually. So if you can remember that in those difficult moments, you can get out of it by just thinking, okay, what is, or, some people say there's always a silver lining. So what is the good of this bad situation? Everything, like I said earlier with a coin, everything is like a coin because we're in a world of duality. And whatever situation you're in, even if it's really not enjoyable, these too shall pass. so learn to see the beauty around you, learn to be grateful for what you have, know that it's not going to last. Take care of your body, love yourself, appreciate yourself. Your body is the temple of your soul. So take good care of your body, eat healthy food, drink a lot of water, drink a little wine sometimes if it makes you feel good. That's especially red wine, antioxidants, right? I mean, it's not about denying anything. It's about enjoying life and enjoying your five senses.
Very important. Now, Olivia, my question to you is, in your mind and in your experience, where does joy intersect with true love? And the reason I say this is because there's a joy within, but can joy truly be extended to another person? And where does true love fit into that overall thought process?
Wow, that's a deep question. For one thing, joy is one of the highest vibrations that a human being can feel and express. So on the scale of emotions, joy is right up there. And I said that it is contagious, and it truly is, and you've seen it around you, I'm sure. So when you say, can one person with joy transmit it to another, or you said something like that, right? Yes, we can. But that other person has to have an open mind and an open heart, perhaps, because, for example, I have seen, in my coaching business, I remember one lady who kept saying she didn't have anything to be grateful for. She was very wealthy. Her husband died and left her a fortune, and yet she kept saying she didn't have anything to be grateful for. And I kept showing her things, and then I asked her, would you journal? Just, try journaling, put your thoughts down, and I would like you to write every day, to write 5 things that you're grateful for, 5 different things every day. She could not do it. So when you interact with somebody like that, I don't think that you can transmit your joy. That person somehow is blocked. I'm not sure, really. I mean, perhaps I could keep working with her. I don't know. I just think that you cannot, like they say, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink, right? So I think that's the same thing. Now, Shadeed, your question, is joy close to true love? Well, what is true love? If it's unconditional love, perhaps it is, because joy is one of the highest vibrations. So perhaps it is really close to unconditional love. Unconditional love, on the other hand, is probably something that is pretty hard for human beings to experience, because it means unconditional, right? And as human beings, we judge and we critic. And when you're unconditionally loving, you're not critiquing and you're not judging. But there are human beings who are able to love unconditionally. And so in that case, I would say, yeah, probably joy and love are really, really close. And another thing too, when you're in love, when you meet somebody and you fall in love, don't you feel the joy? For no reason, that person, you see the person, all of a sudden you smile and your heart skips a beat, and you hear that person's voice, and oh gosh, all of a sudden you have a flood of joy. It may not last because you have to cultivate it. Joy, I think joy as well as love take work. They need be cultivated. You have to be aware. Actually, perhaps that's one of the secrets for everything in life, awareness. Be aware, choose whatever you want, and work at it. I'm not saying hard work. It's not hard work. It's pleasurable work. But it's something that you can cultivate, the joy as well as the love.
Hmm. Very good point. Very good point. Now, when we talk about our peer group, and some people say that we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time around. We've all heard this statement before, right? Where does joy fit into raising the vibration of a peer group, or is it worth the effort of trying to raise a group, or should you focus on your own personal joy within?
That's a hard question to answer because it seems that people tell me that my joy is contagious. So I guess, they do gravitate around me because they're attracted by my joy. Like I said, there's nothing sexier than a smile. And so I guess they gravitate around me. And people have told me, I just like to be in your energy. I'm not looking for anything from you. I just want to be around you because I like your energy. So I think when you have the joy, you radiate the joy, whether you're trying or not. I'm not trying. This is just who I am. And it's probably like your aura. You radiate it and people are attracted to you. So yes, I have people around me who do have the joy. In fact, the man I was living with when I was in Africa, when I met him, he didn't have the joy and he didn't smile. He really, really smiled, never laughed. And then after being with him for a while, his friends told me that I had taught him how to smile. I didn't teach him anything. I didn't do anything. But I guess just being around me, he finally connected back to his joy.
Yes. I think that in some cases, to your point, examples are infectious.
Yes.
In that your joy cannot necessarily change another person, in that I'm going to be happy so this person can change their state of being to become happy. But we become often what we're exposed to on a regular basis. So if you are authentically living within your joy and you radiate a powerful aura, the people you are in contact the most have no choice but to be impacted by that energy. And I think that's a very powerful idea to drive home to the people who are watching this, in terms of the feeling that they have to change their partner, or they have to change their friends, or change their family. Sometimes it's just being the example. And what would you say because you are a person with a very positive energy and a very positive spirit. So if we were to take parts of your personality and your aura and give them to people, what would you say would be your recipe to have a positive presence and a powerful aura based on your qualities?
Now, and I'm not sure what you mean, so you're going to have to ask me again. But before I answer, I'd like to know, I'd like to say, it's true. We cannot change people. They will change if they want to, if they choose to. We cannot change anybody. But for sure, the joy is contagious. And in fact, I'm on a mission to infect the world with joy, right? So what were you saying? Please ask your question again.
Yes. If you were to take the best qualities of your presence in your aura and help our listeners, our viewers who are struggling with their presence and their aura and the feeling that they have to change other people. Because what I think is great about you is that you have this energy that just is like, I am, not I am trying to be. So looking into yourself and saying, okay, this is the qualities that I have. What advice could you give, or what qualities from yourself could you lend to someone in order for them to get over the struggles they may have with their presence in their aura?
I would say be true to yourself before anything else. So know who you are, know your core values, and then be true to who you are. Be authentic, be genuine. That's the only secret. You know, for one thing, I've heard, you can't be anybody else, you know, and be yourself, everybody else is taken. That's true. And so many people think that they have to be a certain way in order to please people, or either they're a certain way at work and a different way at home. No, I am who I am, and wherever I go with whomever I am me, right? And can I tell you, Shadeed, how this happened?
Yes.
When I was living in Africa with this man, I was very much in love. He had everything for him: good looking, intelligent, wealthy, you know, all kinds of things. Sex was amazing. So I had everything, right? And yet, after a while, I lost my joy of living, and I did not even realize it. And I had horrible migraines all the time. And then one day I had a migraine, and he came to me and he said, you know, you're not happy. And I said, oh, yeah, I am. It's okay. It's just a migraine. It will pass. I was in denial because I knew that our couple wasn't really working, but I kept thinking, I'll make it work. We'll make it work. But again, you cannot change the other person. You can make it work if you both want to make it work. In fact, I kept telling him, you're in love with me, I'm in love with you, but we both have to be in love with the entity that we are creating, that third entity, which is the couple. Okay? So so he said, you lost your smile. And that's when it hit me. Yes, I had lost my smile. So after that, one day I was in the bathroom and I turned around, and all of a sudden I caught those eyes in the mirror, and those eyes were staring me right in the eyes. And then I heard a voice that said, hey, you're not really unhappy, but you're not fulfilled either. And 10 years from now, when you look at those eyes in the mirror again, and you hear that question, what have you done with the last 10 years? Have you wasted them? And if the answer is yes, I'm not going to be able to live with myself. I can't stand that answer. So on the spur of the moment, I knew that I had to do something about it. I realized that I had not been true to myself. I was trying to please him, right? I was trying to be who he wanted me to be. I was his thing because he was so wealthy. He was pulling the strings of all the puppets around him. And I kept telling him, I'm not your puppet. You cannot pull my strings. But I was his thing. So I was trying to fit in, trying to please him. And therefore, I had forgotten who I was. And the minute I realized that, I decided I have to leave. So I talked to him. I told him that. And I said, if you're not willing to change a few things in our couple, I'm leaving. And so I left. And boy, you know, he did not give me any pocket money when I left. So it's been pretty hard financially. But I got my smile back. For one thing, I never regretted my decision because I was being true to myself. And I got my smile back. And let me tell you, I never, ever regretted my decision. So that's my advice to people. You know, if you want to discover the joy in you, find out who you are, be aware of, you know, research what are your core values, what do you believe in, and just be that, be who you are. And then your joy will just sprout up, I guess, sprout up, or, you know, it will flood you. And then when you have the joy, there's a ripple effect. That's what we were saying. It's contagious, and that's what I want to do. I'm here to have a big ripple effect around me.
Very powerful. Now, are there any closing thoughts, advice, or messages that you want to share with the audience about the joy that lies within?
I think I pretty much shared a lot of, you know, my core beliefs. I would say just don't take yourself seriously. And make sure that you don't go to your grave with regrets. Because like I said earlier, life is short and fragile and precious and sacred. And you don't want to be laying on your deathbed going, oh gosh, I wish I had done this or been that or said whatever, you know. So think of the people you care about. If you love them, tell them you love them. If you did something you're not really proud of, tell them you're sorry. make up, give them a kiss, give them a hug, just make peace with yourself, forgive, see the beauty, be grateful. I mean, I keep saying the same thing, but those are the secrets, really. Just appreciate the moments. Life is way too short to be serious.
Excellent, excellent points. Now, please repeat where we can find more information about your work, your mission, your passion, and the joy that lies within your calling.
Okay, I am on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook, Olivia DeMoss, and also Living the Life I Love. And my website is livingthelifeilove.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a journey into the inner workings of joy and the gift that joy can give your heart, your mind, and your spirit. And Olivia's been very gracious in explaining the process and reverse engineering the joy that you will definitely feel when you meet her in person. It is my hope for you that you take Olivia's advice of finding your core values and examining your story and living authentically so that the joy can live within you. On behalf of Olivia, I am Shadeed Eleazer, and this has been Conversational Currency, where we examine the value and importance of social skills in a digital era. Thank you for tuning in.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.